Hello, amazing people, and welcome to another edition of the show, The Banter. My name is Grace Komolafe, and you know I am always excited to be here. Guys, welcome to The Banter. Is it because of my voice? If we just reckon? Okay, Juvie, it's good to see you again. You're welcome.
Samir, you've been away for quite some time.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Africa.
Like I left Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, so Francis, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here once again. You're welcome.
Thank you. And Light, I hope you're not going to give me issues today because you are a bone. Okay, so I am fine. And Chicks the Governor, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, I know we'll be having an amazing time here, just as usual. You know, as we do, you know how we do now. You know, so we'll just be discussing topical issues of concerns where we'll be airing our opinion. And to start with, we want to look at children's behavior at home and when they're outside. You know, we see some kids where in the house they act very quiet. Good. Right. And outside they'll be loud and maybe someone that relates for them in the family get to see them do these things outside. They go home to say, oh, I saw your son. He was actually playing. He was, the parents will say, my son. I'm not sure it's not my son. It's not my son. And it's also the other way around as well. You see some kids very playful at home, very vocal and all of that. But outside, they just keep to themselves. I want us to look at this and begin to speak to why we think things like this happens and what should be done. So let's start with Juvie.
It's such a pleasure to be on the show today. And before I continue, Sissy, your hair looks beautiful. Bounce, thick, dark.
Excuse me.
The bounce to it. And yeah,
Okay.
it's beautiful. And,
Thank you, Juvie.
And talking of kids acting differently at home and when they are abroad, there's this Yoruba saying, abroad, away from the home.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean. You know, once you're left home, sometimes people assume different personality. Not like it's a disorder, but you know, you find someone overly introverted at home, but when he gets out, is the deiska, like we call it in our the deiska, it's just there. It's the life of the party. But when he gets home, or when she gets back home, different ballgame. Different things for different people generally. Probably history. Growing up, you've met an environment that seemed to be harsh. So people withdraw into shells, and when they find conducive environment where they could express themselves, they come out and you're like, wow. So you used to talk like, yes, I do talk. And for others, it's just bad experiences. Growing up, children that have been violated, you find that they withdraw into shells, and it takes a whole lot of counseling and until they find that trust again. And so it's not necessarily something bad, and it's not entirely something good. You would expect every child to be open, and like I said, nature and nurture. If the environment is conducive, you'll find kids come out and express themselves.
Thank you very much, Juvie. Let's have Francis.
Well, actually, in most cases, first we need to look at the nurturing, the orientation, and the disciplinary actions of the parents. You see, most times, kids, there is this word they use, juvenile delinquency. You see, kids have a way of trying to hide under the fear of their parents when they are home. But by the time they get outside, mix with their friends, colleagues, they are free to do whatever they like. You see, but in my own view, I think they say the charity begins at home. Parents should be watchful. They don't need to be hard on kids, on their children, because by the time they are too hard on them, it gives them so much liberty for them to go outside and start doing some other things. But I think with time, orientation and good nurturing, and self-discipline, these kids could be able to at least stay put.
Thank you very much. Let me come to Delight. He spoke about the discipline or the approach. Did you say the way the parents,
Yes, the nurturing orientation.
Okay, the orientation and all of that. So, look,
disciplinary actions.
I think you mentioned about, okay, being harsh. That's where I want to pick it from. So do you agree that parents being harsh to their kids could make them act differently at home and also act differently while they're outside?
Obviously, for kids, that's a major concern that tends to push them to have two identities outside. Because for kids, you find you have two scenarios whereby they are fearful of their parents, one, or two, they are just trying to please the parents to be able to have, for the parents to have this picture of who they should be or who their parents should feel that they should be. But most time, I feel that for kids it's basically association. That is who they are comfortable around with. You see that once they are at home, they become restricted and they don't show the full extent of who they really are. But once they are with their friends and once they are comfortable with people they are comfortable around with, they are able to like show their true self and express their self willingly. But looking at the harsh reactions of the parent, I think is one major key factor that enhances that restriction of lifestyle or expressing themselves in their homes and different from us.
All right, thank you very much. Let's come to Chooks. I want to believe that we have parents who are very lenient with their kids. Like they even over pamper them, they over indulge them, and of course, could we say that being over pampered or indulging these kids could also lead to this, or should we say it's pretense? You just have kids who just feel, no, this is what I want to be outside. What do you think?
Okay, thank you for inviting me on this panel of debate. So, my honorable chairman, co-debaters, what are we talking about again? Yes, first of all, let's remember that the average home, the room size is 18 by 22. Average house. So the confinement is there even in the head. And at home, there is discipline, a lot of it. And in some homes, there is most probably going to be a cane somewhere. So it's natural. Everybody will try and behave well at home. But now also know that the society and your environment contributes to more than 60% of your development. So the environment will also play a role. So a lot of times, it's not as if maybe these children are misbehaving outside. It's just that you see some character traits that you don't see at home. This is what now calls for observation. Juvie, are you here with us?
Calls for observation and action.
A lot of observation.
And action.
Then now, because some of those traits that they pick up from outside, you've not seen them do it. They are scared to let you see it.
Yeah.
But now, if you observe a lot and you see it, it might not be bad. I don't know if you understand. But the child is not sure if he will accept it or not. I've seen parents who never knew their children could sing.
Yes.
I've seen parents who never knew their children could play ball. As in very good in some kind of very, very funny kind of sports. I've seen parents who never knew their kids could, talk. But now the child is scared or not sure if daddy or mommy will accept this kind of behavior. And mind you, once that kid gets out of that door, there's a field in school. She can keep running for 5 minutes and the distance is still in front. Mm-hmm. So it's more of observation. Where that kid is headed, that particular character, those particular behavior, those things that the child is doing, is it things that are acceptable? Is it a norm? Is it good? Is it bad? Observe, then you cut. Draw boundaries. And if you see the ones that are good, encourage. If you see the ones that are bad, say no.
Okay, thank you very much. So, for us to be able to, for parents generally, to be able to begin to observe and put action in place, I want to come to Francis? Do you think visiting them unexpectedly would, probably in school, you just caught in unexpectedly. Do you think it's part of, one of the ways to begin to observe and take action? Because I think ordinarily you hear people say, no, when you are coming to see your kids, you should let them know you are coming. So, but sometimes for me, I think when you catch them unaware, that will help. For example, you mentioned playing football and all of that. Probably they are in that act. And it could be something that will interest you or the other way around. What are other things aside picking them up unawares? What else do you think we can do?
Well, to my own belief, I believe charity begins at home. It is not catching them unaware at school or whatever. The most important thing, let's give these children the basic nurturing, orientation and discipline at home before any other thing. Then the issue of catching them unaware in schools, I think is the right move. It's the right move. Because I have a friend who happens to be a preacher at home. But we never knew that he was a preacher. He preach to people in the compound and tell them these are the things that are right, these are the things that are not right. Unfortunately, when he gets to school, he's doing another different thing entirely. So until one day, the mother came to the school and found him in the midst of guys smoking marijuana. So you understand? So I was like, what is happening? Why is this? Why is this woman so amazed? Why is she so surprised? I was like, this guy is a G. So waiting can they make the mama they amazed.
Okay.
So until the woman started crying and say, oh mommy, so one of my mugini. I was like, what happened? The woman now said, this boy happens to be a preacher. Even in the church, he's the head of the youth department in the church. He used to preach and do all sorts of things. He never knew that his son is involved in all these kind of things. So I think catching these kids unaware in school is a good step.
So, Juvie, let's come to you. We talked a lot about speaking up, and also asking questions. And to some individuals, some homes, even some kids, I think there is a disconnect between the parents and children when it comes to sitting down to talk, to have dialogue, How can we further push this or preach this? Because I want to believe that the more you have conversations, like a friend, okay, was he on Saturday? We were just having a conversation and a friend said she saw her daughter, she was a bit moody. They were about to go to bed, she was a bit moody and she was like, what's happening? Okay, let's watch movie. And from there, conversation, one thing led to another. Long story short, she opened up. Their plan is she will be going to school. She just got an admission, and she was already thinking about school lifestyles, relationship, the guys, the girls, and how to handle these things and all of that, because she watched movies a lot. She definitely knew that when she gets to that environment, things would change. But luckily, the woman engaged her in a conversation after watching that movie, and a lot were said. Please, I want you to speak to this,
Wow. Parent-child or children relationship.
Yes.
Well, there is no one size fits it all when it comes to it. It's individual.
Okay.
If you grew in a home where you never had that, it will be very difficult for you to pass it on to your kids. However, there are people that stop in their track and say, no, this wouldn't continue. So it starts with you and your partner. Do you sit down to even talk, to have healthy conversation as adults before you start thinking, so this is my child I've been observing? Then you communicate with the child. You don't see your child as a thing that until he or she is 18 before you believe this person can have a conversation with you. So it's more of an individual thing. And some generations ago, some parents find it as you should know. They just assume you should know. And so people ended up not knowing or going outside the home to try out things like, so is it true that when you touch me I become pregnant? Like, really? Really? Some girls grew
that
like
was
that.
the story
like,
anyway.
If a young,
That was the story growing up.
Mr. Julie, I have a similar case like that.
feeling cold.
You see,
So we're trying to wrap up.
You see, when my daughter came back from school, she's in boarding house. When she came back from school, when she comes back normally I used to collect her bag, check whatever is inside the bag and stuff like that. So one certain time I discover a pad in it. And I called her. I said, Madam, what's this? She said, it's pad. I now asked her, what's this thing meant for? She said, it's for menstruation. I said, Madam, have you started seeing your messes? She said, yes. Then I called her. I said, come. Shall your mama discuss anything with you concerning this message? Where it is? She said, no. I had to sit her down. Madam, do you know what is happening now? With this thing that you're doing now, this is it, that you must not go near a man. Anything that has to do with man does not concern you.
That's not a good. Don't go near a man.
You
Already you are.
You need to create that fear.
It's not healthy, and that's what I'm saying. That's like a parent
You need to
saying,
balance
if
it.
a man touches you,
You get
become
pregnant.
pregnant. It's
No.
not true.
No.
Okay,
No.
Touch you how? And so we don't go further to explain the
At this
beings
point,
and the
let's-
parents.
let's have you.
at this point in time,
Yeah.
he was trying to save his situation.
Yes,
So-
but not saying when you
Hold
go
on,
close
hold
to a
on.
man.
He
Yes.
didn't tell you whether other conversations took place after that.
Okay.
But at that particular point in time, he needed to save
I
his
was trying to
situation.
pass a message across to her.
And I can bet you that he was not comfortable in that particular conversation.
Because she was just 15. So
Just 15.
I was surprised.
12-year-old do this stuff.
Well,
So
actually,
what-
Yes. No.
12.
Really,
Yes,
really.
12.
An 11-year-old girl got pregnant 17 years ago. Had the baby 17 years ago. 11-year-old.
Recent now.
So okay, so let's wrap up. Let's have you and him.
No, don't have me.
No,
Oh.
is it?
Let's have your opinion. Let's have your opinion. Okay, let's have your opinion while we wrap up.
So, parents, it's your ball. It's not just in your court, it's your ball. That child you love so much, that child you cherish so much. That child we are all laboring for, that want her to be a better person, not just a better person, better than our own version, better than our own parents' version. We should learn to talk to our children. We should also learn to observe our children, and we should learn to be supportive. And mind you, they are children, they are human beings. They will misbehave. When they misbehave, don't throw them out. They are still your children.
Thank you. Okay, let's have the light.
Well, mine is not really more of a roundup, but it moves in the direction of a question. Is how do you relate discipline with being able to allow your kids to be comfortable to discuss this kind of issues with you? You know, there's a place whereby discipline has to set in, and there's a place whereby, okay, the kid has to forget that, oh, you can discipline me, but I'm still being able to have this kind of conversations with you. So that's where the talk should be on. Is it that we have to choose one? We have to choose either to be free, or we have to choose, okay, as a parent, I must be able to discipline my child. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Very well.
It's looking at me confused.
I think.
Do you get what I'm
When
saying?
we say discipline, it's not the same thing as punishment.
Yes.
Even for you to exert discipline, it comes from a
whereby-
place of love.
Yes.
No,
So you
know,
could.
It's easy for you to understand, but for a kid who is maybe 8 years old or who is maybe 7 years old, who understand the difference between discipline and punishment.
Okay.
I don't know if you get me. You are an adult, so it's going to be easy for you to differentiate
Now,
between
I'm
the
saying
two.
this because I've taken time to read on children's book, parent-child relationship. So you have to step into the other. I'm saying all I'm telling you, I didn't get it from the home. So I started asking questions. Sometimes you visit some homes, you find parents and their children talking like, in my home, do this, do it. Don't explain, nothing comes out of it. But over the years, you say, man, this is not the best. Other people have stuff you love. So how did they get here? And so I said, it starts from you conversing with your partner. Can you even have a healthy conversation? And it's not like, you are lauding this thing. I want you to be involved in this.
I understand the point where you are coming from. But you know, things are changing. You are in a different, entirely different era now, whereby you find kids arguing with what you learnt by yourself. So now you have in this era, I can tell you that almost, in fact, all the kids I know, they find it difficult to be able to understand what punishment is and what discipline is. Because to them, it may not be wrong. But when you are explaining, okay, what you've done is wrong, then they now understand that, okay, I'm being disciplined for what I've done. But now the question is, how do you relate that with, once you've done this, you are gradually losing that that atmosphere, will I call it trust? That trust whereby your kid has
relationship
to be, because I don't
begin
know,
to draw back a bit.
I don't know if over time you have kids, right? Now, growing up, when they will tell you everything, but as they keep on growing, the things they tell you begin to reduce.
Yes.
You get?
Because they are growing up.
Yes.
So they believe, okay, I can handle this. I can handle this. That's it. Okay, so while
some parents step in and bridge that gap where I still know someone, he's married with like 2 kids, he still calls his mom. Not like he's this, but like this is because someone chooses to step in and say, you are still my child, however old you have become. Do you understand? So, yes.
All right. Thank you, guys. We've actually overflogged it. Not overflogged it, we're making point, but because of our time, we've spent beyond necessary. Well, for me, I thought we've all spoken well, and I really want to say that parents should try as much as possible to create that time for their kids. Observe them, like Chuk said earlier. Observe them and create a conducive environment where you can have conversation. So I think I will just take small example from myself. And, when I see the need to scold my son, sometimes I get overly, I react maybe beyond necessary. Yes, and I ensure that I'll create that time to sit him down and explain. And I can tell you for free that after that, he would be the one that will apologize again. Meaning that he understood, he got the message, right? And sometimes, it doesn't have to be when a child did something bad before you can nudge that opportunity to talk to him or her. Just create a conversation. It could be like we do it in Yoruba land, early momo, or middle of the night, just the way husband and wives will do. Sometimes I will just speak to life generally and speak to things that are happening. And I can tell you that this will begin to form the child's way of life and some other things. You will see people will speak of your son or your daughter outside, and when they come to the house, they will see that it's almost the same thing. The difference will be little because, like you said, I don't know the measurements, but they don't have all of that liberty to play and do some of that. So they go outside to do all of this. But you move to that extent that the difference will be very minimal, and it will be something that can spoil or soil the name of the family. Yes, that's it. So that's my own opinion on this very topic. Let's try as much as possible to be watchful. Let's try as much as possible to give them the opportunity to express themselves. Thank you very much, and that will be all on this topic for now. We'll be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll go straight into the next topic. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back to the show. In case you're just joining us, this is the Banter, and I want to encourage you to quickly go on our social media platforms to share, to like, and of course, to comment. I think you should comment first. like, then share. All right, so we'll be going straight into the second topic, and that's about we'll be having conversation around the appointment of the new EFCC chairman in person of Ola Olukoyede. So there have been reactions that why a pastor? Why make a pastor the head of EFCC? So, I mean, for me, I don't see the big deal.
Why make a pastor the head of EFCC?
Yes.
Did they just go to somewhere and look for, hey, man of God, come here.
Come. I don't get it. He's been in the system. Obviously, he knows the do's and don'ts. I mean, there are criteria, right? And I want to believe that they've done checks and balances before bringing him in. But of course, that's the conversation and a bit of controversies on social media. Yes, on this issue, people, yes, people are saying yes on social media.
Okay.
So you are not seeing it as a controversy anyway. So let's start from you. What do you think?
What do I think? What I think is simple. We need to move this country forward. I think I should face my director of photography. We need to move this country forward. And if it is somebody that worships Amadio, that has the qualification that can move this country forward, then let's do it. It's all about moving the economy forward. If we take scam and a whole lot of this debt called corruption out of this particular sphere called Nigeria, things will move forward. Mind you, he's been in the EFCC. Let's face some facts now. He's a seasoned lawyer of over 20 years experience. And he's been in the EFCC not today. So again, he was the chief of staff to the one before the one that just left, and he was the secretary to the past one that left, secretary of the committee to the past one that left. So hey, if it's about qualification, the man is qualified. Now, if you want to argue about pastor or no pastor, now that is now a different ball game.
So I think that's actually the issue. They were not looking at it from that angle. I mean, looking at the portfolios, and the positions that he has occupied over time. According to the conversation, the reactions that I have seen on social media. So let me come to you before I come to Juvie. So speaking to the fact that they are seeing him as a pastor, do you think for me, if you ask me, it's a good move, But I don't know your mind. Do you think having a pastor as a head of this commission will further create good morals, will help, you are smiling already, okay.
If you are saying him being a pastor, whether it will further create good morals, we've had pastors in top political positions in this country. Where are we? That's what I'm going to. Where are we today? So I don't feel, it's even in the Bible, it says that some Pharisees we may not even make heaven, but the harlots and this thing will. So I think everything boils down to morals themselves. Everything boils down to their own discipline, self-discipline, and if they are not going to allow the system take them down, they always say the Nigerian system is very bad. That is, if you want to do something good, the system will not allow you. Well, if he's not going to allow the system take him down, and if he's going to be very productive, kudos to him. And I pray for. No, I'm saying people say that the system that is there, that is the people that are there already, will not allow him to work, and later on he will join them. You get. But what I'm saying is this: that if he's not going to allow that to happen to him, that's fine. If he should at least try and prove those who are saying he won't prove them wrong.
Okay, thank you. So let's come to Juvie. There is the saying, if you can't beat them, you join them. So picking it from your conversation. So that's it. Basically, people believe that in politics, if you are clean, as white as snow, if you go into Nigerian politics, people believe, the majority believe that one way or the other you will be stained because you're definitely going to join them. Because
first question, which politician is clean?
Okay, so you are also accepting to the same.
No, you see, there are two different things. Nobody is electing a saint. Nobody is electing a God man. Your job is to go there and take care of what was put in your hands. Make the thing work. If you like,
Okay.
worship whatever you want to worship.
Okay,
Just make the thing
so
work.
coming to you, I know that he's not your brother. You don't have a direct relationship with him, but do you think this choice of leadership will help the agency to take better steps, good approach, and have better outcome? You know,
Say it.
and I mean, what other points do you think you want to contribute?
Well, for me, I'll start with from the angle of merit. That's where we should start from. Nobody cared when Professor Oloyede Ishaq Oloyede was made the JAM registrar. He was once a vice chancellor, Unilorin. He's a stout Muslim, and so why? I mean, so why are people not? So why were eyebrows not raised back then? Do you understand?
Did he walk?
So it's about merit. Let's quit all these things that are trifles.
Did he walk in JAM?
He did.
Was he not the best JAM registrar?
And he's been making revenue for the government. And so for me, I think this is just beside the real thing. Merit, is it supposed to be there? The legality, if we check, is it supposed to be there? Some say, oh, it must be someone that has this security, must have been in the... Those would be more tenable arguments, not whether it's a pastor. Abiola 1993 was Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land. Do you know what that means? And so why didn't people clamor like, oh, would an Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò be able to lead?
Instead, it was pushed.
Nigerians went all out for SDP in 1993. So I don't understand what the whole fuss is about. It's beside the point. We should be looking at who is going to drive the agency forward. If he has what it takes, let's allow him work. I don't have issues. If he like.
Okay, so let's come to Mr.
Dear
Francis.
moderator, are you people afraid?
What do you have to?
Let's
have him. Let's
in my
They are
own
not driving
point
any
of
agency
in my own
forward.
point
They are
of view,
arresting criminals.
Let me just
Who will
say
arrest the criminals?
let me just say some few things.
don't worry, we'll come back.
Since
to
the
that.
creation of EFCC,
Yes.
during the period of the tenure of President Olusegun Obasanjo, most of the EFCC chairmen appointed then, up to date, they have one or two cases of corruption or mismanagement.
He was not arrested, but he had his own scandal.
Yes.
This man is a lawyer now.
What I'm trying to, you see,
He was not
most
arrested,
of
but he
these
had his own
EFCC chairmen,
Yeah.
they were being booted out due to maybe one corruption or mismanagement issues. Then now we are having somebody who happens to be a pastor or a reverend being brought in now to replace the bad ones. My own bone of contention is just quite simple. My advice to him is that you should just please practice what he preaches.
But he wasn't brought in as a pastor. He was brought in as someone who is
You know,
qualified.
as a professional.
Not as a
our
professional.
my brother,
Not
but
even as a
our
pastor.
but our argument here is
Yeah.
about faith and governance.
Okay.
So we can't leave the issue of pastor aside.
No, I'm not saying we leave it, but that is not the first reason he is qualified there.
I am not saying
brought him
I
is-
didn't say that was the first reason. Sure, you understand? What I'm saying is that we have so many FCC chairmen, the likes of Nuhu Ibadu, Lamode, and co like that.
They went to jail.
Even I don't think they went to jail.
He ran
Sure,
away.
you understand? So my bone of contention is just quite simple. This man has been in the FCC for a very long time,
Okay.
and it's because he's a pastor. That is why we are having this conversation.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
that's the reason why we are having
that's
this
the
conversation.
controversy.
Sure, you
you
understand?
But we're not having the same controversy about who is the president. We're not having the same controversy about who is the governor.
Probably because
And
the
these guys
president-
control the
because
EFCC.
the president was not or is not
My own point
even
of
before he
view- my
became
own point of
before he
view is
became the
just that
president.
being a
Did you
pastor,
ever hear
is
maybe
just
anywhere?
practice what he preached.
Yemi Oshibanjo, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo was a pastor.
Okay.
Was there an issue with him?
But he was never addressed as a pastor.
No.
The
Let
president's
me
wife.
let me tell you. I think that time of Yemi Oshibanjo too, there were
But there was nothing.
conversations.
Nobody could pin anything on him.
Yeah, well, that's
simple question. Did you vote for him?
I didn't.
okay. So basically,
who did you vote for?
No, I'm
let's
only
not shift
speaking
it.
as
Let's
a
forget
Nigerian.
about what you
There's a
voted
reason
for.
why I'm asking
I'm
this
speaking
question.
as a Nigerian.
He's always not voting for anybody. So I want to confirm if that is not political apathy.
2015, Sasakawa in Zaria. You could tell, you could go there. I don't have to mention my political party. I've been involved in political casting of this thing way back, so I've got my interest.
Thank you.
Because I'm
So
not with
basically,
your man doesn't mean I don't
so
have
basically,
my
I want to
interest.
see if we can quickly touch our last story, and that's why I'm doing
We're
this.
leaving this.
That's why I'm doing this. I just want us to do a 30-second each.
Okay. On this.
So, on this one.
Okay.
Yes.
Starting with me.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Dear pastor, please, you know where your predecessors went to. We beseech you, arrest those criminals, collect our money back, and send them there before they arrest you.
And when you collect the money back, please.
Show us and put it in
Let's
account.
know where the money is going to.
Let Nigeria
Not
move
that
forward.
we hear that you collect and would not know where the money enters, right? That's it. Okay,
Something like that.
Well, it's a very simple case. You have your argument, people are saying this and that. But at the end of the day, you should be able to prove them wrong, because it will do you good that you are not in jail with the others.
Well, for me, if Nigerian president one time, Goodluck Ebele could say there are people in his government sabotaging. And so for me, the wisdom for the present one would be go all out, bloody anybody's lips you have to bloody to get the job done. Don't look anybody in the eyes. Do it, you might lose your life in the process. But bloody, let's bloody people's mouth for once and quit all this.
He's a pastor now.
Okay, so
Well, my own advice for the Mr. Pastor, the new EFCC
why are
chairman.
we all calling him Mr. Pastor? Let's speak from the professional
Yeah, you
angle.
took us to now.
Okay, let's go.
My own point is just quite simple. Let him just try to be open, be sincere with whatever he's doing, so that at the end of the day we can all come back and start praising him again. You understand? But today now we are still arguing why will a pastor be EFCC chairman? And this.
But we don't have problem with the Chief Justice of the Federation, whether it's a pastor or an imam, but it's EFCC. And we know that there are cases sometimes EFCC go to court.
This is an anti-corruption.
So anti-graft agents, they
yes,
also
because
have
that
limits.
commission is what's
But
that
it's not
word
about-
now?
it's not
It's a very
about the-
sensitive, yes, commission.
A very sensitive commission.
Of
I
course,
don't even
that's
see religion
you see,
as an
my
argument.
should not even be part
my
of it
brother,
at
my
all.
brother, in this present Nigeria, I can say corruption is just like it's like a logo. It's like a slogan.
that we do not want.
Sure, you understand? So the most important thing is just that when we are bringing in a pastor,
No, when you're bringing in a professional,
Okay.
he wasn't brought in as a pastor.
what I'm trying to make you understand is that, well, this topic is all about faith and governance. Are you getting? In a case whereby somebody wants to be sworn in, you will either be given a Bible or a
Quran, they
Quran.
attach it to your faith.
Sure, you understand? They will
Nobody has issue with that. I'm just saying he
Mr.
was
Guy
brought in by
Okay.
merit.
Okay,
He's
okay,
I understand
thank
the
you.
guy is not
All
qualified.
right, thank you. Let's
Let
not.
him just do the right thing.
That's it. Thank you.
Send
So,
them to jail.
all right, thank you, guys. So, on my own part, I also want to say that, please, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, kindly do the needful. Yes, and be swift in your actions. A lot of people are waiting. They want to see if the whole story will end same way. But trust me, I believe that you can put them to shame. You can surprise them, not just holding to your faith alone, your qualification, your profession. You look at the ethics of your job and you stick to it. I think with this, the sky is just a starting place for you. All right, so let's just go straight into the second topic. We want to briefly speak to the removal of forest ban on 43 items, rice, palm kernel, and the likes of all of that. I think the essence of placing that ban, I'm looking at you, Abby.
Looking at me.
Probably I want to bring the conversation to you first. So the essence of placing that ban was to encourage local productions,
Yes, you're right.
so that we can patronize ourselves, we can have more products, more stuffs come from Nigeria. But did that really work? If we look at it, at some point, people begin to see it as a way to encourage or to heighten poverty, if you ask me, because a lot of people doing this businesses, at some point they lost it and all of that. Okay, now, the ban has been lifted. What do we think? What difference will this make? I want to come to you. Yes.
Thank you very much, dear moderator. I now put it back to you, Juvie, that what moderator said was half truth. Now, there was a forex ban from CBN on rice, cement, margarine, palm kernel, imagine.
Yes.
Palm oil product, God forbid. Vegetable oil, meat, processed meat, vegetable, poultry, Jesus. Tin fish, the list goes on. 43 items.
So we're importing this.
We're importing toothpick. You are saying chai. Can you steel pipes, steel drums, wire rods that they are making here in Ogun State, reinforced bars, wire mesh, steel wooden doors. Now, we had serious forest crunch in the last administration. So they will say, okay, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? CBN said, okay, let's try and see if we can stop giving CBN rate to this set of importers. That was what they say. Yes. You importers importing these things, we are not giving you CBN rate anymore. Yes. If you want to import, go and source by yourself. Then I said, good. Another argument.
And that would increase black markets channels and all of that.
And that argument they put forward was, it was going to make local producers go ahead and produce. Now, the question we now ask ourselves, what really happened? Did it work? It did not work. Did it help the local producers? No. Let's go back to during Obasanjo's era. What did Obasanjo do? Obasanjo said, if you are bringing in fruit, processed fruits, and a lot of food items into this country, we're not giving you forex anymore. That was just one. And we are not giving you import licenses anymore. As in, Obasanjo went that far. What happened? I'm going to call names now. Coca-Cola brought in their own fruit juice into this country. And the plant started here. Foreman, Chivita, a whole lot of them. They started having
producing their own.
Yes.
Here.
So now, this ban just was a letter ban. It didn't go directly to impact on local production. Because the money you stopped these people, you could have also empowered these other people.
That's it.
Now, they've taken the ban off. Now, let's ask ourselves, the dollar is floating right now. How much is the dollar right now? 1,050 something.
Yes.
How much is the bank giving you? 1,050 something. So ban or no ban, it doesn't mean anything. Everybody's taking it from open market. Wow. I don't know if I'm making sense. So right now, it's still status quo.
Juve, you want to say something?
It's going to be a tough one for any government. Sometimes I really wish things would just change overnight, but we're still going back to borrowing. So, in what currency are we dealing with the guys who are borrowing from?
We are usually not in business.
And so, in the long run, it still boils down to the fact that if we're not producing as much as we are importing, it's still going to be more stories, policies here, policies there. Eventually, we just retire and go back home and write a book or biography or autobiography and retire. People that are there should have the political will. We know what our problems are. Can we just address the problems and let the masses breathe? Let them breathe. It's tiring. It's tiring going through this.
Okay, let's have Francis.
Well, to me, I don't think this this thing is going to help the economy of this country. Because the more you have this kind of arrangement and plans, it will always devalue the naira. Are you getting my point? And once you are devaluing your currency, you are giving the foreign currency a big advantage.
And giving them the jobs.
That is it.
That was supposed
and
to do here.
One other thing, one other thing that I don't understand about our businessmen, our politicians, our billionaires is that why taking all the money that you are stealing abroad? Because when we have this money in this country, there are so many things we can use this money for. because of their own behavior. Their behaviors as a billionaires, as a politicians, as a businessman, they don't trust Nigerians again. So they prefer to take their money abroad, give it to the white people for them to use it to build their economy, which is very bad.
So you say they don't trust Nigerians again on why did you say so?
Because of their own behaviors. Because they are stealing from us, so they don't want to invest the money on us.
Okay, this is what they do.
Yes.
The Yorubas will say, "Oh, lelo mess,
They
okay.
don't want to
Okay, I
invest
get
the money
that.
on
Hello,
us.
hello, can you back what you're saying with data? Who and who? How much?
Well, my
Date.
Let's leave
My
that.
brother.
No, because of our time. Let's
I
leave.
can mention.
Don't mention.
Let me.
Don't mention.
When I get downstairs, you can start to mention.
Let me come to
Well,
Okay, so speaking
every
to
point has.
yes, I just want to say
Okay.
this first. Talking about what they do and not trusting other Nigerians. For me, if you ask me, I think we ourselves are problems to ourselves. Because something happened over the weekend. I know of a young man who is trying to set up something good in his community. He's based abroad, but he decided to go into that sin's village to set up something good that would benefit the community. Do you know that they are attempted kidnapping him? And
Which community is that?
it's in Osun State.
We're in Osun State. No, things like this, we call them out.
No, seriously, you know that.
We're in Osun State.
And
There's
these
another
people
one
came.
earlier this year. They arrested a king in my village, or not in my village, in my state, because he was using all those small Fulani boys to kidnap the big men of their community.
Look at that.
I think the news
Somebody is
was
trying
read
to set
now.
up something that would favor the community, that
No,
would
they
turn
took
things
him to
around,
Abuja.
and you are trying to kidnap him. And people were like, if you have 4, 5, 6 of that kind of a man in that community, won't it transform that place? They will have more jobs. The place will be better. So I don't know. In addition to the ban lifting and all of that, with this issue, we being a problem to ourselves. How do we speak to this?
When a man comes to a village, a man that lives in Abo comes to a village to come and develop it, the politicians in that village will be scared.
So it became a threat to them, isn't
It became a threat to them.
Okay,
I don't want to mention names.
Let's not mention.
So many people have been assassinated
Let the lights
on this kind of.
Let the lights speak.
You love mentioning names.
A lot.
I don't even mention one.
Please don't.
Well, the
Okay.
truth, everything has been said. But what I'm coming to say is this: you are having a place whereby the people they themselves do not. I could remember vividly when this ban was newly introduced, and everybody was complaining that why did they put the ban? And you still find people, market people, still going to Badagry.
Yes.
Coming from Badagry, they will complain and say they sought audio road safety, customs on the road. You sort. Person that is sorting and the one that is collecting what is being sorted. But how do you expect the exactly? So my point is this: you have a place whereby the people are not willing to develop the economy, and the government to themselves are not willing to. You can only do as far as where your hand will reach. You cannot do more than where your hand you get. So if the government are doing their own side and the people are doing their own side, trust me, things will work perfectly. But now you're having an economy whereby the people themselves do not even want to. I was traveling late last year, 2020, and the driver that was taking me was telling me that Sabogida Ora, they gave them about 1 billion to do a rice farm. Till today, as we speak, there is no rice farm in Sabogida Ora. Yes.
Okay,
So he's talking about is in Edo State.
I know. It's on the way.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so
how
basically-
do you 1 billion to improve local? So what are we talking about?
So they have shared it.
Yes,
It's a national cake.
It's like fertilizer. It will take a while to.
grow. All right. Okay, 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Let me shock you some things that are on that 43
Yes.
list. Toothpick,
Definitely.
propylene granules, polythene bags, soap and cosmetics, tomatoes and tomato paste.
Can you
Why?
imagine?
Why? Dear President Tinubu, you see these 43 items. We don't want foreign exchange open ban on it. Ban importation of the ban it completely. If we can't produce it here, it won't kill us. Ban it completely.
Must you used to speak?
Okay, so you want to say 10 seconds? You want to say something? Just 10 seconds.
Well, I am in support of what Mr. Chuk just said. You see, the total ban of all these items is the most important thing. Total ban. So I would advise the president to put a stamp on it. Ban it, Panakwata.
Produce it here.
Produce it here.
I don't know how many of you have bought books in this country lately. It's harder, more expensive producing these things in our country. And if we don't make the climate, the environment good, even...
You know why it's hard?
I'm just
Because
saying,
the rich knows that they can go outside and get it. Now, if you make it that they can't go outside and get it, they have no choice but to invest that money here.
I trust that would happen. Like the Nigerian police band said some couple of years ago, better days are coming. I wish it was better days are here.
10 seconds.
Well, it's very short and simple. Government should seize all other opportunities and let only Nigeria be the only opportunity. Option. All other options should be seized, and let Nigeria be the only option that is available.
All right, thank you very much, guys. It's been a very good conversation here, a very good time here. And for me, I really want to say that let government put funds where necessary. You know, just like you've all said, ban importation of these things. I mean, they are just things that you expect that we should have more than enough. You know, I mean, it's uncalled for. It's uncalled for, honestly. So please, government, channel funds into key areas where you know these things.
I think sanitizing has to come before channeling funds.
Okay.
Because no matter the fund you channel,
It will keep stopping somewhere.
Somebody is removing, so
Okay.
it won't
Okay,
get
so please, that's key.
sanitize first.
Do proper sanitation, then you move the ministry forward. Thank you very much. All right, guys, thank you so much. I want to say a big shout out to the guys behind the camera. Thank you for the job well done. We appreciate you. And of course, to my assistant producer, thank you so much. We love you. Please like, please comment, and please share. Until tomorrow again, we'll be coming your way on the Banter. I remain Grace Komolafe. Do have an amazing time out there. Bye.